Hi everyone, it's Kristen Redmond, and today we're going to go over the planetary aspects that are surrounding us and affecting us for this week, March 20th through the 26th. And this week is a wonderful week in the world of astrology because we are leaving 2016 behind as the sun leaves the sign of Pisces and moves into the sign of Aries. This is the beginning of the new astrological year, and it is a big thing for us astrologer folks and for all of us down here on good old planet Earth because it brings new beginnings, right? When the sun goes into Aries, we start a new year, we start a new cycle, and we're finally dumping out those things from 2016, those events that happened unexpectedly that kind of initiated these endings, right? Necessary endings so that we can grow and prosper into these new wonderful beginnings and situations that are coming into our life, right? And as the sun begins to tour its legs through the sign of Aries, we all feel like a renewed sense of springtime within all of us. It's like that field that's plowed and the shoots are popping up again. We all kind of feel that in a metaphorical sense, right? We all feel that new growth beginning to emerge, and we're seeing all of those seeds of manifestation that we've planted over these amazing full moons and eclipse cycles that we've had in the past 6 months, since September. We're starting to see some of those things come to fruition now, right? And we're ready for those new beginnings to happen. And when the sun transits into Aries every year and it begins that new astrological year, it is a time that's known as Spring Equinox. And the equinoxes and the lunar eclipses and the solar eclipses and of course the why is my brain freezing up? Solstices, thank you, are very important times in the world of astrology because they involve the sun and the moon. There are luminaries. They're the most important of all the aspects in astrology. The sun representing our outer self and the moon representing our inner self. And when we go into these phases where it's the solstice, where the sun is at its highest or at its lowest point in the sky, or at a time like this when we're at the equinoxes, the spring and the fall equinox, that is when the sun and the moon kind of share that time together, right? They're midway between each other, and the day is split completely even, where we have exactly the same amount of daylight and the same amount of darkness. And we too kind of, in those time frames, focus on the duality that life is, right? How we all have a light side and we all have a dark side, that shadow side and that light side. And we focus on that balance between our own sun and moon of ourself, our sun, which is our outer self, our direction, our path, that part of us that everybody in this world sees and what it is that we're doing, we focus on that. Where's our path leading us? But not only that, we begin to focus on that shadow side, that inner side, that hidden side, the moon side, the dark side, where it's our emotional self, the things that we keep hidden from others, right? Those aspects of ourselves where our intuition is where we follow instead of that light of the sun. And we kind of bring those into focus and we try to find a good balance and strike a balance between the two as we approach these equinoxes, or at least review them, right? We review them. And what's really cool about this wonderful equinox that's going to be happening on Monday the 20th is that where the moon, that wonderful moon, is going to be at is in the sign of Sagittarius. And I love it because this is the year of Jupiter. This is the year of scales being balanced as it goes and moves through the sign of Libra. And this is a 14-year cycle that started in September, and it started initiating a lot of changes, a lot of endings, a lot of things with relationships, okay? I've done so many readings for my clients over the past year where there's been a lot of people affected by this relationship shift that's been occurring in the universe, where maybe it's not a romantic relationship, maybe it's a business partnership or a close friendship. You're losing clients or customers, close one-on-one relationships, right? They make this impact as Jupiter tours through Libra, and it balances those scales for us, right? Kind of like I'm talking about with this equinox here. And it takes off the stuff that we don't need off of that scale so things can get a little more balanced, right? And it brings in new opportunities and people and blessings for us in the process, right? Jupiter is going through, and Jupiter is the ruling planet for Sagittarius. Back to Sagittarius here, right? And I think it's very fitting that the moon would be in Sagittarius during the time of this pivotal equinox, right, as we move into the 2017 year, the real beginning of this new year. And what's great about Sagittarius and its ruling planet Jupiter is it expands us beyond our boundaries, right? It kind of pushes us beyond those limits that we set for ourselves in that little gated area where we say, this is good enough, this is where I'm comfortable. But then Jupiter comes along in these 14-year cycles and it says, man, there is so much more for you out there. Gosh, don't you see this? You could be so much happier if you push beyond your boundaries a little bit, right? If you explore beyond your limitations and explore these new horizons just a little bit more, I think you may be happy, my little friend. So that's what's going to be happening, I think, in this time of the equinox, as we strike that balance between the light and the dark of ourselves and find that balance between the two. We're going to start exploring things. We're going to explore ourselves and the depths of ourselves and what it is that we do want and what it is that will make us happy. Because this is the year of the Leo eclipses, powerful Leo eclipses, where we're focused on what makes us happy, thinking with the heart instead of the head, right? We're focusing on that. Let's explore the self, right? What is it I want? Jupiter and Sagittarius also are very faith-filled, right? So this is a time when we explore our faith, what our faith means to us, what our spiritual self means to us, what our connection with God is exactly, and how we believe what it is that we believe, right? Well, let's explore those things, right? Let's learn all the things that we can about the past and how we're going to utilize that to move into the future to make a little bit more of a successful future for ourselves. And also it's about traveling too, exploring, right? We're exploring not only the horizons of our mind, right, in new territories in the world of things that would educate us, but physically traveling around and experiencing new things. New experiences help trigger those things in us that bring out that happiness, right? Whether it's you taking a new route to work, or maybe you're traveling to Cancun for spring break, right? One of the two. Let's just kind of push beyond and explore a little bit different this week in the equinox, because it's going to help us find that through the darkness, sometimes we find the light a little bit better, right? So that's one of the main things that's happening this week. And of course, one of the other things that we have is it's still that sun, right? That Aries sun. I guess we'll talk about that now. Not only do we have the equinox starting, but as the sun goes through the sign of Aries in the next 4 weeks, we're all going to feel this push to start making these changes, right? It's the first sign of the zodiac, and it's the initiator, it's the leader, and it wants to charge ahead, and it doesn't want to wait anymore. It's already had enough time thinking as we've gone through the last 3 months of the last quarter cycle of the astrological wheel. When we do the introspection, when we do the thinking, when we go through all those thoughts, we're ready to act now, okay? And this is what's great about it. In the next 4 weeks, you're going to find that you too also are ready to get moving ahead and moving forward. And so this Saturday on the 25th, Venus out there, which is also beautiful because it's the year of Venus. As I said before, Jupiter is touring through Libra, and it's balancing the scales in a lot of ways for relationships and life in general for us this way, like it hasn't for 12 to 14 years for some folks. But Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. And Venus, of course, is the planet of love and money and harmony. And it wants things to be harmoniously flowing and balanced and beautiful and happy, right? Organized and happy and the energy flowing right. And it focuses on that heart center of ours, right? That heart center where that energy of giving and receiving goes through, right? We're balancing those scales between those this year and trying to strike a balance of happiness for it all. So we've got that happening this year where Venus also is in retrograde. It goes retrograde, okay? This is the year of the Venus. This is the year of Jupiter. It's the year of the scales being balanced. And as this 40-day cycle of the Venus retrograde, which started on March 4th and it goes through until April 15th, we all look to the past in those areas with love and money. How to restructure ourselves. How do we spend our money? How do we save our money? How do we give our love? How do we receive our love? How do we want to move forward in a more optimistic way, right? And make things work for the better. All of those things come into focus on Saturday the 25th as Venus out there in the sky, that retrograde Venus that's thinking of all the things of the past, aligns with the sun. This is a once-a-year alignment when this happens, and they kind of take on the energy of one another, and with that, it's a chance for us to really shine a light on those areas of the past, right, with our love, This may be a time when past loves come back in, right? This is a time when we find our ability to assert ourselves a little bit more so in the areas of love and money to get what it is that we want as well. So watch out for that energy, because sometimes we may jump a little bit and leap without thinking, because Aries tends to be an impulsive sign and might not think before it acts. But with the sun shining its rays on there, you're going to have a fire under you to get things done, because it's a very, very passionate sign, that Mars ruled Aries that it is. So this week, for all my Aries friends, the ones with the Aries ascendant, the ones with the Aries suns in their charts and the Aries moons in their birth charts, you are going to find this week that the fire is lit under you to make those changes, to get things going, to get that ball rolling, to go into the new year. And of course, for the rest of us as well, we'll be feeling it as well. So let's do a reading, kind of pull it all together into the, whoa, I got really dark there. Hello, hello, I'm here. It's not nighttime yet. Hi, hi. So let's pull a reading into this now, kind of see what angels are working with us through the rest of this week, and what energies they want to bring us. Okay, wow, that is just terribly dark. Here, let me move a little bit. Got the sun shining on me there. Okay, let's see what angels are around us, helping us in this week of the equinox, finding that balance for the year. Bring these new beginnings. Let's see. Oh, it's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. Hold on now. Hold on there. What we got here? I'm not going to say it's this one, because Sandalphon comes around too darn much. I'm going to spin this guy around, okay? Took this down to Adrian when I did my readings this week, and I haven't rearranged my stones yet. So let's do this here. Universe, tell us what you need us to know here. Isn't that something? Somebody else got this stone today for a reading I did, and it is interesting because it got pulled a couple of times yesterday too for some readings I did. This is a stone here, and I love this. Okay, this is the obsidian stone, by far the most protective of all the stones and in the world of crystals, right? Any black stone is going to give you protection, kind of keep you guarded from all those people that take your energy and suck it right out of you. But it also keeps us grounded, and it keeps us balanced, right? And this week we're kind of focusing on that shadow side of ourselves, right? That side that we hide from ourselves, where we forget about what it is that makes us happy. And it wants to get some light shed on it this week, right? As we bring about these new beginnings. So I have a feeling that's part of why the obsidian is coming through today. That isn't a specific archangel in particular, so I'm not quite sure who it is. I have a feeling they're going to come through this reading here. What I'm going to do is shuffle this a couple of times here, see who is working with us and what that sign is. For sure they want us to know that we are protected in this week, that we are able to remove all those negative energies that have accumulated in us and kind of start this new year off on a fresh note. Sorry, my Kindle died there. My computer died, so I didn't start taping on my computer, and then I brought my Kindle out here, and that thing has like 0 storage on it, so it keeps shutting off on me, so bear with me here, and we'll get through this. So let's see what angels are around us. Since not one particular archangel came through in that, let's see what their message is for us, okay? Let's see here for this week of the equinox. I'm going to do this just a few more times. You can feel that message coming through. One more. Okay. Haha, isn't that something? Remember I just said that the sun represents our ego and what it is that we do outwardly in the sunlight, right? And here we've got the moon, right? The dark side, right? So we were kind of striking that balance between the two. This card asks us where it is that we feel that we're blocked in this life, right? And sometimes when we feel we're blocked and we can't move forward and nothing's changing, it's a false sense of entrapment that we put ourselves in, right? We kind of put ourselves in that box, like I said, and then Sagittarius and Jupiter come around to kind of expand us beyond that. This is a card that speaks to that too. And this is another card too that really says a lot of times, sometimes we put ourselves in these situations where we feel like we're a little bit of a prisoner and we can't move forward. And then come to find out it's because we've set those limitations for ourselves, and maybe it's through bad habits that we have. Maybe we have some cords that we need to cut, whether it's through a person that's a bad habit that doesn't need to be in our life anymore, whether it's a substance that we don't need in our life anymore that needs to be removed, or maybe it's just negative thought patterns or self-destructive tendencies or self-destructive thoughts you have. Let's let those go this week, okay? This is Archangel Jophiel who comes through in this card. And Archangel Jophiel is the angel for Libra. She is the angel of Jupiter that's going through Libra this year. She is the angel of Venus that's trying to balance the heart center and bring us happiness in both love and money. Okay? And right now, this is the week, right? We're calling both of those into focus, focusing on our dark side and our light side and what they both provide. I think this is wonderful. Negative fear-based thoughts. Let's remove those, right? Let's focus on what we do want instead of what we don't, right? Focus on what you don't want, and then you get more of it, and then nobody's happy, right? So your happiness. Let's focus on those things. So I'm going to pull a chakra card to kind of get a little bit more of just a little pop of insight from Archangel Jophiel here, who is the angel that's like the feng shui angel. She organizes our life, right? Whether it's organizing your home, or she's the one that actually can clear away those negative thoughts out of the mind. She organizes the mind and the heart and all of the centers to make sure that the energy is flowing efficiently and that we love ourselves and that we beautify ourselves from the inside out, much like you would if you were remodeling a home. What do you have to tell us, Archangel Jophiel? She's here. I can feel her in her magenta. Beautiful color. Must be because my dog's barking. Little woof. One more. Here we go. She's just barking away. Well, isn't this perfect? Expansion card. Well, I think we know about that, right? Here we are. We're expanding beyond those limitations that we set for ourselves. And that ego card, I mean, this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. And I look at this as the 4 seasons, right? All these 4 seasons in the year. We're beginning this new astrological year. This is about expanding beyond yourself, getting yourself into new groups, new situations, new environments, where you're able to really grow and cultivate these new beginnings that you're hoping for this year. And Jupiter is going to balance those scales for you as long as you keep those thoughts positive, right? And don't fill your head with the negative thoughts and feel that you're trapped and can't move forward, because you always can, right? As long as you have the intention to do so and the willpower to stick it out. So, my friends, everybody out there, thank you so much for watching, and Happy New Year, and have a wonderful week. Bye.